Please direct your attention to the ice for the presentation of the Conn Smythe Trophy to the most valuable player of the 2025 Stanley Cup Playoffs.
Good evening, South Florida. It feels like we just did this. Let's congratulate the Oilers and the Panthers for a terrific rematch of the Stanley Cup Final. The Conn Smythe Trophy goes to the most valuable player in the playoffs. It's only fitting that this year it goes to the leading goal scorer, Sam Bennett.
Sam Bennett wins the Conn Smythe Trophy. Scored 15 goals during the postseason, including 5 in the Stanley Cup Final.
Timing is everything. An unrestricted free agent on July 1st. Does he get there? A lot of people feel that he will be back here in Florida. But I mean, a perfect supporting cast at the center ice position in behind Sasha Barkov.
So Brad Marchand, one of the first to congratulate him. They were bitter rivals prior to Marchand becoming a member of the Panthers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Stanley Cup.
The Stanley Cup is the most iconic trophy in sports and the most difficult to win. And while it may be difficult to win once, to do it twice in a row is almost impossible. You can't win it twice in a row unless you have commitment, leadership, passion, a great fan base, and a great organization, starting with Vinny and Teresa Viola, Matt Caldwell, Bill Zito, Paul Maurice. And again, you fans have proven that hockey works in the sunshine. Alexander Barkov, let's do it again.
$359 days later. And now Barkov will take it for a spin. Schmidt, first-time Stanley Cup champion.
Kachchuck directing traffic, telling Schmidt to take it all the way around the rink. Something he will never, ever forget.
Seth Jones, another first-time Stanley Cup champion. When he was a youngster and his dad played for the Denver Nuggets, Popeye Jones asked Joe Sakic to have a little chat with his son. And young Seth started playing hockey in Denver. Final snow set. Another first-time Stanley Cup champ. Let's welcome in the great one, Wayne Gretzky. Wayne, as you watch the celebration, the excitement, you had the opportunity to do this on 4 occasions. What's going through the mind of these first-time champions?
Well, first of all, there's no feeling like it. We always talk about how hard it is to win this trophy, and that's a fact. That's just not a rumor or a saying. But it just shows you how unique this hockey club is, that they've handed the trophy to every first-time player. I thought for sure Marchand would be the first guy to get it, but they went completely opposite direction and made sure the guys who had never won it before got to lift the Stanley Cup first, and that just shows you the uniqueness of their team.
Gretz, you know this team very well, the Florida Panthers, as A.J. Greer gets the chance to lift it up. What has impressed you with them going back-to-back?
They're a well-oiled machine. I thought in March, when they had a lot of injuries, and I'm pretty good friends with Bill Zito, they weren't worried or concerned if they were going to finish first, second, or third. They just felt like, all right, we want our organization, we want our team to be ready physically and mentally heading into the first round. And they were. And they just got stronger as every series went along. They have goaltending, their defense. The trade they made for Seth Jones was remarkable. He fit right in like a glove. And, you know, when you have 2 guys like Ekblad and Jones that can play 28 minutes a game and play at a solid pace, and they play similar, so there's not a big change when they come off the ice. And then the continuity of the forward group, the 4 lines, they just kept turning them over. And they just kept going at Edmonton in waves, and Edmonton finally broke. They physically and mentally just played as well as you can ever play to be a Stanley Cup champion. And their good players were really good, but their role players, guys who were on 3rd line, 4th line, the 4th and 5th, 6th defensemen, they were the difference in the series. They played exceptional hockey.
Becky Samoskevich, who was terrific as a rookie during the regular season, did not see action in the Stanley Cup final, getting a chance to lift the Stanley Cup.
I grew up playing against Sam Reinhardt's father, Paul Reinhardt, and I remember at 10 years old, my dad said that's the best 10-year-old in the country. And I had a chance to talk to Paul yesterday. Obviously, he came in to watch the game from Vancouver, and I just can't say enough good things about his son. I know he got 4 goals today, but my, oh my, that young man was really good the entire series. He just was solid. But they had all their guys were like that. Barkov, Reinhardt, they just do their job, and they go about it the right way, and they play well. And as I said on the show tonight, Paul Maurice, he was trying to match up against Connor, but he was keeping the right D against Connor, but he knew he had Lundell, or he had Barkov, or he had Bennett. Their lines, all three could check, and the centermen are all tough, and they're all good. And they made it hard on the Edmonton Oilers.
Wayne, you mentioned the Reinhardt family, and Sam with the 4 goals tonight. He joins you in the record books. You were the last player to score 7 goals in one Stanley Cup final. That was back in 1985 when you won the first of your 2 Conn Smythe trophies. So full circle moment with Sam Reinhardt scoring 7 goals in this series.
Hey, all my records this year are dropping like flies, Eddie-O.
Hey, you still got another 40 or 50 on that. You're okay. You're okay. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it.
It was you guys. We were together this whole series. You guys do a great job. But how good was this Florida team? I knew they were good because I get a chance to come down every now and then to games. This is a well-structured hockey club, top to bottom. In September, they did a charity fishing trip with my son-in-law on his boat. 16 of the guys showed up. Their general manager. They were the most polite, nicest young men. They were ready for the second year and ready for round 2, and they've proven everybody that they are the best team in hockey.
Well, it's been great to be with you and the boys, Gretz, on this journey here in the Stanley Cup final. Just been awesome. You're our leader, and selfishly, we love having you being around here the whole time during the Cup final. And here comes Brad Marchand.
He's still blocking rats. It's really a testament to their hockey club. You guys said it many a time. He was probably the most hated guy that they played against, and they took him in. And that's what we used to always say in hockey. The guys you hate the most, those are the guys you love and you want on your team. I remember Theo Fleury. He was such a competitor, but he could have played on my team any day, and that's how Marchand plays.
Well, Wayne used to play with a guy named Ken Lindsman, who was nicknamed the Rat.
Oh, yeah, Kenny was the same way. And Kenny was a playoff player, big game player, and that's how Marchand is. Kenny and him were a lot alike.
All right, Wayne, we look forward to hearing from you and the rest of the gang on the post game. It's been a tremendous couple of weeks with you, as always.
Great job, Gretz. Thanks.
All right, thank you guys. You guys are wonderful.
All right, we'll see you later. Thanks, Wayne. Sergei Bobrovsky is standing by with Jackie.
Sergei Bobrovsky, congratulations. You have just gone back-to-back. What makes this one special?
It's amazing feeling. And I want to say glory to the Father and to the Son and to the Holy Spirit. You know, I dedicate again and humble and appreciate it for everything I went through. And I want to give that victory to the God, you know. I want to thank him for everything I have, for my parents, for my family, my wife Olga, my daughter, 2 daughters, for this family. This family is amazing. So I'm blessed with everything, and I want to thank God for that and go back to work.
It's very clear that this is a very, very special group. What can you say about what these guys mean to you?
Yeah, they are amazing. I mean, the group, it's so privileged to be their goalie. You know, it's a dream come true, and to win twice that trophy, it's amazing.
You know, we saw you kind of standing by yourself as the crowd chanted your name. What is it like to live in that moment?
Yeah, the crowd the fans are amazing here. They give me all time. Their support is amazing. So I'm so happy to bring that cup to them again.
So what's next? How do you celebrate?
Say again.
How do you celebrate?
Yeah, we just enjoy it together. That's it.
All right, congratulations. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
There's Sam Reinhardt. Scored 4 of the 5 Panthers goals tonight.
Remember, he got banged up in the conference final against the Carolina Hurricanes. Came back. Took him some time. The time off, I think Kenny did him well in between the conference final and the Stanley Cup final. And he started finding his stride, and And now the MVP, the Conn Smythe Trophy winner, Sam Bennett. And remember that shift for the ages he had earlier in this series here in South Florida? He took out Podkolzin, he took out Klingberg, and next thing you know, he's got a breakaway going back the other way and goes top shelf, and there's your MVP and leading goal scorer in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Here are the centers who have scored 15 goals, Eddie, in a postseason. Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Joe Sakic, Sidney Crosby, Sam Bennett.
Unbelievable.
He hands it off to Matthew Kachchuck. And you talked about what the acquisition of Kachchuck did for this franchise. There are his parents.
Yeah. Keith on the right, his mom Chantal on the left, and July 22nd of 2022 is when Matthew Kachchuck became a Florida Panther and really changed the culture and the direction of this franchise. And then there's his brother Brady, the captain of the Ottawa Senators, watching in back-to-back seasons.
He would love to have the opportunity someday.
100%. Watching his brother hoist the Stanley Cup. And Bush talked about Gustav Forsling in the open. Just flat out awesome display of team defense by that man right there, Gustav Forsling.
Sam Reinhardt, 7 goals over the last 4 games, is with Jackie.
Sam, congratulations. I see you giving thumbs up to the people over here. Is this your family over here? Is it just fans, or what's going on here?
Fans, just fans. I love it, enjoying the moment.
You are one with the people. A hell of a performance tonight, a hell of a run once again for the Florida Panthers. What can you say about this one that separates it from the last one?
Just resilient. I mean, it's not easy coming back, and you know how hard it is to do. Sometimes that benefits you, and sometimes it doesn't. So, we just stuck with it. A lot has to go your way to be standing here at the end, and we were up for the task again.
Brad Marchand joins this team and feels like a perfect fit, then contributes in a massive way on this run. Why do you think he was able to fit so seamlessly into the group?
He's just a gamer. He's so competitive. I've seen it ever since I came into the league. I think everyone's seen it. That's why, he's got so much respect and people hate him so much. That's just what he is. He's a competitor. He's a warrior. He was so motivated right from day one when he got here. And that was infectious for our group.
All right, well, you guys are writing a hell of a story. Congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thank you very much.
Third Stanley Cup for Carter Verhaeghe. 1 with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and now 2 back-to-back with the Panthers.
And Gretz touched on it. I mean, the depth of this team, the matchups, whether head coach Paul Maurice is chasing it or not. At the center ice position, the depth, there's Evan Rodriguez and Barkov and Bennett and Lundell. How about that third line, Kenny? Marchand, Lundell, and Lostarinen. Pretty salty.
Incredible throughout the postseason. Evan Rodriguez led the Panthers with 7 points during last year's Stanley Cup final. He scored a power play goal in Game 3 of this series. And a 6-1 Panthers win. Nico Mikkola. They lost a couple of defensemen following last season. Key cogs, and more playing time for Mikkola this season. The acquisition of Schmidt and Seth Jones. And they all did an outstanding job.
I mean, you lose a player like Brandon Montour to free agency out in Seattle, and the other players to step up and eat up those minutes, and you had the suspension for Ekblad, and he was hurt. I mean, there were just a lot of moving parts as Gretz kind of touched on, and you get a guy like Mikkola and you trade for Seth Jones. And you got Bob in goal. I mean, the strength of this team certainly right through the middle of the ice.
Rostarinen, an assist tonight, 8 points in the clinching games during these playoffs for Rostarinen. Matthew Kachchuck is with Panger.
Can you describe your thoughts and your emotions going through everything you've gone through, following the Four Nations, Matthew, and getting to this point and winning on home ice?
Oh my God, this one's more rewarding to me. Just everything personally, what I had to overcome, didn't know if I was going to be playing, and it just shows how unbelievable our group is, the depth, everything, and then allowing me to kind of get my footing throughout the playoffs. And then I owe a lot. I owe a lot of people a lot of, thank yous. Doctors, medical team, our trainers, just equipment guy, all the support staff that doesn't get a lot of credit. I would not be here without them, and I owe them this one.
Do you think the average fan has any idea what you went through, and what did you go through?
I tore my adductor off the bone, and then had some hernia thing, and all on the same side, and wanted to throw in the towel a bunch of times. I'm sure I got to thank a lot of people, for getting me healthy enough. I'm sure I wasn't the easiest to deal with. My fiance did a great job at the house on days where I probably wasn't in the best mood coming to the rink. The trainers, maybe when I wasn't in the best mood, when I was in pain. I just owe them so much, the doctors. And I really didn't think I'd be playing, or at least playing to my capabilities. So the longer the playoffs went, the better I felt. And I owe that to the guys for giving me some wiggle room to feel good.
What's it like looking up and seeing Mom and Dad and Brady?
Oh, my God. I wouldn't be here without them. I've got a great support system at home here. And then, I have my parents and my brother and my sister. I wouldn't be here without them. It's so emotional because this is a dream. You have a childhood dream of winning the Stanley Cup, and to do this back-to-back times, go to 3 straight finals, win 2 of them. We're a dynasty, and I can't believe that this is what's happened in the last few years. Coming to Florida was one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me, and I owe a lot of thanks to just so many people for making that happen and them believing in me. And the culture down here is very, very unique, and hopefully we can do it again.
Congratulations. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, Panger.
And there's the general manager, Bill Zito. Back-to-back Stanley Cup champion. Matthew Kachchuck in that great interview with Panger, the thank yous about the trainers and the training staff. I got a chance to play with Keith when he first came into the National. And there's Vinny Viola, the owner of the Florida Panthers, along with his wife, Teresa. And here comes Paul Maurice. Back to back for the Florida Panthers.
27th season as a National Hockey League head coach.
Keith Kachchuck learned from the players around him when he came in, and he became, there's Jamie Compon, assistant coach. And we say it often, Kenny, the training staff is a lifeline of a hockey player.